I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. This is a Saturday special report. I haven't been doing many because I've been ill, but we intend to get back on the target. Donald Trump, being president in 10 days, has done a miraculous job as our job numbers increased by about 71,000 over last month, and he hasn't even been in there a month yet. Not only that, but look at all the industries he has contacted and the strides that he has made in just a short time. The problem is the Senate won't confirm his nominees for his cabinet. What's going on with Jeff Sessions? We need an attorney general because of what is happening in the streets of America right now. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I'm from Indiana, so my message to Donnelly is you better start cooperating and getting these appointments put in office so that we can take and move forward with America. We have to make America great again. And the Democrats are impeding the process. What is this when they don't even show up for a hearing? This is ridiculous, folks. I think they ought to be docked and paid, but someone's going to say, oh, you can't do that. That's unconstitutional. Really? If you don't go to work and your boss is unhappy why you didn't show up, did you get paid? I never did. I lost my money. Why should the politicians be any different? That's what we need to find out as Americans. You know, the other things that are going on in the streets with the women marching over the idea that Trump's going to take away their rights because they think they ought to have the right to terminate the life in their womb. Well, let me give you a little statistics here. Approximately 1/4 of the people, women, that go through an abortion attempt suicide or actually get it committed. The other thing, and these are statistics that you can go find on the internet, my question to the women out there that are doing all these marches in the street, why didn't you take precautions, preventative steps? If you take the morning after pill and you take it the morning after you've had unprotected sex, guess what? It has a 95% chance that you will not get pregnant. Why aren't we doing that, ladies, instead of aborting our children and letting Planned Parenthood talk you into carrying that child for 5 trimesters and then aborting it? Because they're going to make millions of dollars off of the baby parts. I can't condone that. That's blatant murder. After all, in our Declaration of Independence, what does it say? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are endowed in our Creator in certain unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. What about the unborn? He has a right, she has a right to take and come into this world. I totally don't understand what's going on with these younger women and some of the idiots in the past that are marching in the streets. Nor can I understand the gay communities and boys wanting to be girls and girls wanting to be boys. This is just totally ridiculous. I read a story today about the Boy Scouts. Has a boy that changed his sex and they still left him stay in the Boy Scouts. What is going on with our country? And then the chaos in the streets and the beheadings still going on in France. And Donald Trump trying his best to stop our chances of being attacked. What's going on here, folks? Let me tell you something. Donald Trump did not violate any law. The same thing occurred back in 1952 when Harry Truman signed it into law. You can find it on the internet. He signed it into law that we have the right to stop illegal aliens and people coming into our country that might do us harm. And that's what Donald Trump's trying to do. But it was used again in 1979, I believe, by Jimmy Carter. And it was used again by Bill Clinton. And oh yes, the great Barack Obama used it in a limited time as well. So what is going on in America? I am disgusted. You know, the people of America are really put out with politicians. And I suggest those that are coming up for re-election that you might want to take a hard look at your stance, because the election in 2018 might spell the end of you going back to Washington, D.C. In fact, I hope they pass something that limits the terms, because if they do, many of them won't be able to take and run for re-election. That way we get some new blood in there. Let's hope we don't get a bunch of little millennials that are ding-dongs that didn't even get enough education to find how to pour water out of a boot, even if it has stamped on the heel, turn upside down. These are things that are troubling America today. We can't stop a lot of the forward aggression on some of these groups, the atheists, and some of the things that are going on. But at least I think Donald Trump's going to step out there and protect Israel. I hope he does. But you know, this is a sad state of affair. We have a man now that's trying to return our country to a prosperous nation, and we have other people that are inciting riots. And I'm not going to name who I think it is. I mean, there's enough names floating around out there that you ought to be able to figure it out. But I can tell you right now, the people in the past that have done like things to cause chaos is Clarendon Piven, Bill Ayers, and Bernardine Dorn, and oh yes, the great George Soros. Somebody's funding this stuff because they're not the local people that are doing all the harassing here. They're being brought in and bussed in and shipped in to cause the problems. Just like they were down in Ferguson, just like they were in Chicago, and I can go on and on and on. It's time that America wake up and understand we have to bring this to a complete stop. That's right, a complete stop. We need a positive action here. And we're not getting it quite yet. We have a positive person in the White House. But we have a negative Chuck Schumer leading the Senate. And we have the negativism from Nancy Pelosi and all of the Democrats right now. Could you imagine if the Republicans didn't show up to vote? The chaos that would go through the NBC, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, Huffington Post, all the liberal idiots that are out there that try to demean everything that anybody that is conservative is trying to do. These are problems in this country. We don't have a press corps and a news media that will take and deliver the facts, nor the truth. I'm a commentator, but I also write facts and stories on political things that I happen to do here locally in the town in which I live. And I try to be totally accurate, and I try to stay totally neutral. Even though I'd like to put my 2 cents worth in, I try to keep my opinion out of things that are supposed to be totally factual. But see, I'm a commentator. I'm like a Rush Limbaugh, an Alex Jones, a Sean Hannity. That's what I am. I tell it how I see it. And I'm telling you now, I speak as truthful and honest as I can be. America is living in the shadows of darkness every day, and we have to somehow change that dynamic. Recently, the group that I chair, called the Refounders Inc., which is a nonpartisan educational charity group, we presented banners to the local school system here in Mooresville, Indiana, that says, "Be a good citizen, do to others as you would have them do to you," to try to promote respect, honor, and responsibility back to the school children, a communication. That's all we're trying to do, get them to stop and think. But the ACLU, if they decide to come after us, they will. They'll say, you got to tear them down, because separation of church and state. I'm about ready to do an extensive video on what kind of nonsense that really is, because that isn't in the Constitution, folks. We hear it all the time. Listen, I'm going to show you a book, and I suggest you all of you get it. See this book? It's written by David Barton. Oh yes, David Barton. A lot of people say he's a nut job. He's not a nut job. He has his facts. In fact, if you turn in this book, it'll tell you all the notes and everything about court cases that have happened about separation of church and state. So, if you go to Wall Builders, you can get this book. And I suggest you get it and read it. We're going to do a report on this book coming up. America, we have to bring Christianity back in the fold. America was based on Christianity. Our total philosophies of our government are based on Judeo-Christian principles. Our laws resemble the Ten Commandments. And we're supposed to allow Muslims to take over towns in Michigan, all across America, judges letting them have their way with Sharia law in the local communities because they're the majority that lives there. Wrong. They are to assimilate and live under our laws that are passed in this country. And coming to America is not a right. It is a privilege to be able to be permitted to come across that border. You don't have a right to come here. You have the right to request an opportunity to be accepted and allowed to cross the border. But you have no right to come into this country. None. But we have a lot of people that are trying to do so. And if they come over here and a woman's pregnant and she gives birth, they try to use the 16th Amendment to say that kid cannot be deported. Wrong. The parents, it was never written by Abraham Lincoln, by the way. It was with the intent that all the slaves that had been here all those years were now citizens. And that anybody that came over here and were here legally and applied for citizenship, that would have a child while they're waiting, that their child would automatically be adopted as a United States citizen. That's what that was about. But you see, we got to change the dynamics in America. Well, this is Don Wallace, and this has been a brief update as to what is happening in America today. This is Two Joes on the Street. Till the next time. Have a good day and have a good weekend. And God bless you and God bless America. America is a great nation. Don't ever forget it. I've always been proud of my country.